The city of Beverly Hills is both a global international luxury brand, but it's also a real-life community. And like all cities in the Southland, it has gone through its ups and downs these past few years, for sure. Well, thank goodness a revamped Beverly Hills Courier has been all over it, covering every angle of the city, due to its new publisher, Lisa Block. And she joins us this morning from Beverly Hills. Good morning, Lisa. Nice to have you with us.
Good morning.
Good morning, Giselle and Melvin. Thank you for having me on, and happy holidays to both of you.
Happy holidays,
great to have
our
you here.
friend. It certainly is. So for a long time, the Courier was seen as kind of like this advertiser retail style guide. And since you took over at the helm, you've turned it into a real news service for the city. You've changed the approach.
Yes, we have. You know, when we took all this wonderful publication, what was most important to us was to deliver our community accurate, verified, objective, investigative reporting. And as it turned out, that is what was required 3 months after the pandemic hit, and we were off to the races with showing our community that the correct information counts.
And you all have been such a needed and crucial source in the city lately with this uptick of crime that's happening, this just horrifying, tragic incident that happened, up in Truesdale Estates, taking the life of Jacqueline Avant. So what is the approach that you all are taking to covering crime, and what have you learned from this uptick?
Well, first of all, there has been an uptick, but it is not just in Beverly Hills. We're not immune. It's across the city. And what is important is that we feel we connect and we get the information out to let everybody know that community counts and that we're here to inform you and have the tools to proceed. For example, most importantly is we have a new Police Chief Mark Stainbrook, and he has helped us enormously. He was thrown right in. I mean, this tragedy happened right on his first day. Talk about a first day of work. But because he's such a seasoned police chief with extensive background, he also was a military man, lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps. A lot of time was spent searching for this police chief. And lucky for us, he has arrived, and we're very, very hopeful that his extensive experience in gangs and counterterrorism will help. You have to understand that Beverly Hills has 34,000 residents, but each week, 150,000 visitors come to Beverly Hills. It's a big job to keep all of us safe.
And speaking of feeling safe, it's not just residents, but you're a massive tourist destination as well. Rodeo Drive is the luxury brand. So, what is this? I know he's just a few days on the job, but what is the city expecting from the police department? It's faced a lot of allegations and accusations of late of, bias, racial bias, etc. What are you expecting from him, and how can you and the Courier help inform the city and the tourists who come there to be safe and feel safe?
Well, first of all, you have to understand the council has been very supportive of keeping us safe. And part of that is just this week, they have increased police officers. They have increased the deployment of private armed cars. In our city, we have excellent surveillance, over 2,000 cameras, which means almost every city block, every house, you walk out and on their block, there are surveillance cameras, closed circuit. They're always recording. We also have license plate readers at every traffic light and in the black and whites. And so as a result, there's a constant feeling of everyone's being watched for safety. Great. Solely for safety.
And something else that we're all watching is the Jeannie bus cover. What a great get for all of you, Lisa.
And you got stuff from her no one got.
Yeah.
Here, I just happen to have it with me right here.
That's great. What did that interview teach you?
Jeannie Bus, she's a force. She's a courageous, kind, incredible leader. She's an advocate for female empowerment. And you have to remember, she has succeeded in a male-dominated field. And she has done it in a year that was one of the hardest years in the history of the NBA. And as Adam Silver shared with us for the article, that she did it, her leadership was done with her own style. And it's truly remarkable. Well, that's one of my takeaways. But my other takeaway is that to her, community counts. Laker Nation is her community, and Beverly Hills is her community. She leaned in. You know, she spent her formative years in Beverly Hills.
Wait, Lise, I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to cut you off, girlfriend, but if you want to read that article and hear the very, very few takeaways, get the Beverly Hills Courier. Lise, thank you so much
for being with us.
It's great to see you. Best of luck in the holidays.
You're changing Beverly Hills for your
Courier. Come.
We will.
Thank you. Come visit BeverlyHillsCourier.com.
Thanks, Lise.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Lise. Great job.
Good to see you through the screen.
Good time.